Hello folks, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about ear stretching. Without fail, of all the topics I cover, I always get the most requests for more information about stuff to do with stretching, particularly ear stretching. So today we're touching on a topic that I haven't actually talked about here before on my channel or even on my blog, which is re-stretching your ears. When I say re-stretching, I mean if you have already stretched your ears in the past, especially like you stretched them in high school or in college, and now it's anywhere from weeks to months to years after, and you want to stretch them back up again. Stretching looks a little bit different if your ears have already been stretched previously. And a lot of folks decided to stretch in high school or in college, had to take them out for job or school stuff or family stuff, and now you're a bit of an older adult. There's a lot more cool jewelry options for stretched ears. It can be a lot more socially acceptable to have stretched ears in many workplaces, and you miss them. You miss your stretched ears and you want to stretch back up again. How does that look different from stretching if you've never stretched before? And does it follow different rules? Let's get into it. In general, even if you stretched previously, stretching back up is going to follow a lot of the same rules. You still don't want to use tapers or tape. You still don't want to skip sizes. Single flare glass is still going to be your best and most affordable way of sizing up. However, a key difference if you've had your ears stretched before is that your lobes have a little bit of muscle memory, or in this case, since there's no muscle there, I guess like elastic tissue skin memory, which is to say that your lobes know that you've been at this bigger size before. They know that you've stretched up, and you have the built up collagen and lipids from the stretching process from last time. This does mean that a lot of times if you're re-stretching, this process can go faster. Now that means that the time between sizes and stretches can oftentimes go a little faster. And what that might look like is, let's say you had your ears at a ½ inch previously when you were in high school and you're ready to re-stretch. Your lobes are still a little stretched out, so maybe the first size that fits comfortably for you is a 4. Great, you pop some 4-gauge plugs in, they feel comfortable, a little tight but not super tight. All of a sudden, 2, 3, maybe 4 days go by, and those plugs are falling right out of your ears. And I don't just mean falling out the front, I mean flaring everything, pulling all the way through the back. Your ears are all of a sudden already loose. You pop some 2s in, and they fit just fine. You wear those for a couple of days, up to about a week, and then all of a sudden, same thing. The whole plug is falling through your ear, flare and all. So you pop some 1s in. They also fit just fine, and a week and change goes by, and those are falling out, and a 0 fits right in. When you've had your ears stretched before, usually once you put in a plug of whatever size comfortably fits, again, we don't want to be forcing it. Even if you've stretched previously, pain is still a bad sign, bleeding, all of this stuff, not good signs, so we don't want any of that to happen, just the size that fits comfortably for our ears. A lot of times it only takes a couple of days or a couple of weeks for the ear to just immediately loosen right back up. It's been at that size, it's been past that size before, and the plug just starts falling out and you're able to pop the next one in. Now a key with this, if you notice in that example, is that we didn't skip sizes. I'm going to say that again, look me in the eye. We didn't skip sizes. This is where a lot of people make a mistake when they're re-stretching their ears. They feel that their ears are loosening up a lot faster than before. They know that they've, let's say in this hypothetical, already made it to ½ inch. So their ears know what it is to stretch up to that size. So they'll start skipping sizes. They'll start putting in 2mm increments and 3mm increments. But the problem is you don't really know where that elasticity is going to tap out. It might not be all the way until ½ inch, but it might be all the way down at 2 or 0. And if you are trying to skip sizes because your ears are just loosening quickly, you still really run the risk of tearing or blowing out your ears. And I see this happen all the time with people who are re-stretching, who get a little overconfident or a little cocky because it's going quickly, and they decide to start skipping sizes. So if you're re-stretching your ears, I strongly suggest still going by millimeter increments. But it's worth noting that your ears are probably going to loosen up a little bit faster than last time, and you may find that you are putting in your next size every couple of days initially to every couple of weeks to a bit of a faster timeline than every 3 months. So don't skip sizes, but do listen to your body, and if the plugs you're currently wearing are already falling out of your ears, you are safe to put in your next size. Now, it's worth noting that for most people, stretching will resume normal speed somewhere around the previous largest size they reached. So in this hypothetical, it was 1/2 inch. So for our imaginary friend who is stretching back up, somewhere probably around like 00 to 7/16 1/2 inch, their lobes are going to slow back down again, because now we're through those easy sizes that the ear just remembered that we had that elasticity and that collagen for. Now we're back closer towards uncharted territory. So this person may be able to keep popping new plugs in every couple of weeks super quickly, and then they hit 7/16 and things slow down. Back to waiting 3 months between stretches, their plugs are definitely feeling a little bit tighter and more secure in the ear. They're not feeling that same looseness. This is also part of why it's important not to skip sizes, because you don't really know when that point is going to hit for your ear. It might be at the previous largest size that you went up to, but let's say that this person who once went to 1/2 inch, when they were originally stretching, skipped 1 gauge and they blew out their ears at 0. When they go to re-stretch, 2 to 1 to 0 might be where their ears stop because of the scar tissue that they built up at that stretch previously. So if they were getting a little overconfident and just stretching really fast through those small sizes, and they tried to do that again and just skip 1 and go straight from 2 to 0 because, oh, my ears feel so loose, they could end up with a blowout all over again. So you don't necessarily always know where that stopping point is going to be, and it's going to be different person to person. So it's important to still go every 1 millimeter increment and really listen to your body. And that brings me to the last and biggest point when we're talking about re-stretching our lobes, which is that it's so individual and different for every single person. I have had clients who stretched just a little bit in high school, and now it's been 10 years and they decide they want to re-stretch, and their ears just go. They are just popping in plugs left and right. They are back to their previous larger size in just a couple weeks. No pain, no discomfort. Everything is super healthy. They just have really elastic, really healthy skin. On the flip side, I have had clients who used to be at 5/8 or 3/4, end up downsizing for work or school, whose ears just do not want to budge. They go a little bit quickly through like 8s and 6s and 4s, and then just slow right down to a grinding halt at like a 2, and they're back on your normal every 3 months, regular massage, really needing to work with their ears to get them back up, even though they used to have much bigger ears. And then we have folks who maybe didn't stretch the safest when they used to stretch, who maybe used a lot of tapers and a lot of acrylic and skipped a lot of sizes, who dealt with multiple tears and even blowouts. And for them, because their earlobes can be built up with a lot of scar tissue, re-stretching can be even slower than stretching initially was. And I have had folks who have had to wait 6 or 9 months between sizes, do a ton of massage and treatment for their lobes, really hydrate and moisturize the skin, really treat those scars. And re-stretching back up is a much more difficult process because they have so much scar tissue built up in their lobes from improper stretching initially. Now, I will say across the board, it's more common to see earlobes react a little bit quicker when it comes to re-stretching. It's relatively uncommon that I see someone re-stretching where it's really a struggle, and usually in those cases, they have a big blowout or a ton of scar tissue. So we kind of already could predict that it was not going to be the easiest process to re-stretch. That being said, it is very individual, and how your body is going to handle re-stretching is not the same as how the next person's body is going to handle it. So with this, I really just encourage you to listen to your body. Does everything feel super comfortable? Is the skin on your earlobe a really healthy color? There's no redness, there's no tenderness, there's no like excess moisture buildup. Are your plugs just falling out super easily? Does the neck size fit really comfortably? You're probably fine to stretch. But if you notice things don't feel super comfy, your plugs feel really tight in your ear, there's tenderness or there's soreness along your lobe, there's redness or there's secretions coming from the piercing channel, or if it just doesn't feel right, listen to your body. That is your ear's way of telling you, hey, I am not ready for this stretch yet. And I think sometimes it can be a challenge when we're re-stretching because we've decided to stretch again, we miss having stretched ears, we want to get back to that goal size, to the size we used to have, we have new goals, and especially when you see other people re-stretching who just zoom through those sizes, it's easy, I think, to get discouraged and want to rush and want to push. But please remember that this is your journey, this is your experience, not anyone else's. And it's very important that you listen to your body as you go and respect if your body is telling you, hey, we need to slow down. This stretch is not going to happen this quickly. And just in general, if you have previously stretched lobes that are really stubborn or giving you a problem, it's never a bad idea to consult in person with a piercer with a lot of experience with stretching. Sometimes we can take a look at the scarring you have, and there's other things that we might recommend, such as heavy modification artists or different types of scar tissue treatments. So don't hesitate to get a piercer's input if that's something that you're having a problem with. I'm going to link all of my other content for ear stretching in the comments down below because, again, as a general rule of thumb, even if you're re-stretching, we're still using single flare plugs. Glass is probably going to be your most affordable. We still want to go every 1 millimeter increment. We don't want to skip sizes, and we still just kind of want to be careful and listen to our body. So I'm going to leave those resources down there, so if you aren't familiar with safe stretching methods, you can read about that. But hopefully this video helped give you some context for what re-stretching is going to be like and helped remind you that the process is unique to you. Your re-stretching journey does not have to look like anyone else's. As per usual, if you like the content that I put out, please hit like and subscribe. Your support means the world to me. It's what keeps me here making content and producing more videos like this for you. I hope this video helps, and I can't wait to sit down and chat again with y'all soon. Bye!